Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're regular here, you know I review many photographic, audio and video related products. And if you're new here, well, that's exactly what I do. Now today, we're looking at a monitor. Now I've bought many monitors over the years. Some I've sold, some I don't use, some are in cupboards. But I bought this one because it had one feature that really interested me, and the feature is an extra battery port, really, to plug another device into the monitor. And I'll explain what I mean by that. Not really plug a device in, attach another device to the monitor, and I'm going to explain what I mean by that. But the monitor we're talking about today is the Feelworld F7 Pro. There's a box for it. It's a pretty standard packaging. Comes with, you know, HDMI leads, comes with a little bracket. Here we go. Comes with a little hot shoe mount, cold shoe mount to put the monitor on. It's actually quite a well made one, to be honest. Most of them are flimsy as hell, but that one is actually quite a good one. Quite impressed with that one. Yeah, the monitor we're looking at is a 7-inch monitor, touchscreen, with a nit value of 500, so it's quite bright outdoors. It's not the brightest. Doesn't go as bright as my Atomos Ninja 5 and my Atomos Shinobi, but it is actually, you know, pretty decent. And it comes with a lens shade. It comes with a shade, a sunshade is the word I'm looking for. It comes complete with the sunshade. Now the monitor we're talking about is here. I've got it connected to my main camera, so I'm actually seeing, you know, what the picture looks like, and that looks pretty decent. So that's the monitor I'm using. Now, as I said, it's touchscreen, so you can do everything on here just by swiping up, swiping down, touching the screen. You can increase the brightness by just doing that, which is really good. So on the left hand side, that'll increase the brightness, and then on this side, that'll increase the volume if you've got headphones plugged into the unit. So it'll increase the volume output. So very tactile and very easy to use. It takes 3D LUTs, so you can actually load LUTs into the monitor. So if you're filming in Vlog, or in Sony's case S-Log, you can put a LUT over it, so you're actually viewing what it would look like as a Rec 709 image. That's great if you've got a director on set, or you've got the client on set. They don't want to be seeing a grey output. They don't want to be seeing a grey image, because they wouldn't understand why it's grey. But you can put a LUT on it, so they actually see, you know, a representation of what the image would look like. It's a touchscreen monitor, as most of them are, or a lot of them are these days. So it's very tactile to use. You basically just swipe up, and you've got a preset menus at the bottom here. Now you can change those menus to whatever you want to set it up for. I've got here focus peaking, turn that on. I've got that set to yellow. You can change the color of a focus peaking. It doesn't have to be yellow. And then you can turn that off. You've got histogram, turn that on. So you've got a histogram that pops up, which is great. So you can see the, you know, the brightness of the image. You've got audio meter on and off. I always have my audio meters on. I think it's crucial to be able to see the audio, as well as being able to hear it on your headphones. So I shall turn that one back on. So you've got really good audio display as well down the left hand side, which is quite unusual, because on the Atomos Ninja 5, it's a tiny little audio display, and with my poor eyesight, it's really difficult to see how good the audio is. At least with this monitor, you can clearly see how good that audio is with that audio display. False color, you can turn false color on and off, and there's different styles of false color. False color is great for, again, getting the exposure correct, getting your skin tones right. And you got zebra. We can turn your zebras on and off. No point in really using zebra settings here indoors, but you can see there my head is glowing. It's got the stripes on it, so my head is slightly overexposed, actually, only slightly. I don't really have an issue with that, and I see it's gone way out of focus. Here we are, we're back in focus now. I've actually shooting on my Canon R7, but I'm using the Sigma 30mm f1.4 lens with that camera, and I've got that set to f1.4, so the actual focus will be really critical. I'm doing it because I want to get a nice creamy bokeh in the background. I'm also testing to see how good that is and how reliable the autofocus is. I mean, I've got my wide shot on my very trustworthy Panasonic GH6 with the Panasonic 12 to 35 lens, f2.8 12 to 35 lens fitted to that. So so you see there you've got your zebra settings. That's great to check you know, your exposure. And then on the end here I've got well, you can have them all turned on, so you've got all your waves turned on, whether it be your vector scope, your audio meters, your waveform and what have you. So that is quite interesting. I would probably never use that, so I've got that turned off. And I say you can change these by double clicking on it, and then you can just turn this wheel and that'll change the setting of that particular menu. And you see it's just scrolling through there, all the different ones that you can set that up for. And that's great that you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 presets on the bottom there, as well as you can go into the main menu and set up what you want on the main menu as well. So great little monitor. It's 500 nit display, as I said, so that is great. Good in bright sunlight, not as good as the Atomos Ninja 5, but it's still really good. And of course, being a 7-inch monitor, it's actually better because it's a bigger monitor, so you can get your focus a lot better. You can actually check your focus a lot better with a bigger monitor. Now, the other thing is it's a 1920 by 1200 display, so it's higher than HD, but not quite 4K. But it will accept a 4K signal, so you've got no problem outputting 4K to this monitor. It will downscale it to 1920 by 1200, so you have no fear of being able to monitor a 4K signal coming out of your camera, be it Canon, be it Sony, be it whatever. As I say, it's coming out of my Canon R7 at the moment, and that's monitoring that absolutely fine. All sorts of mounting points on the side. You've got one on the side there, you've got one on the top there, you've got one on the bottom there, you know, they're everywhere. On this side, you've got your HDMI in and your HDMI out loop through. So that's handy if you want to loop it to even, you know, maybe an Atomos Ninja recorder or whatever it might be. And then on that side, you've got DC in and you've got a DC out as well. So you can power something else with this particular monitor. If you've got a big fat battery like I've got fitted to it, the NPF 970 battery, it's not a Sony battery, it's a third-party battery, but I've got a huge great battery mounted on the back of that. The only reason I've got that big battery mounted is one reason only, is that it's easy to put the monitor on the table, and you know it's ideal for that. Now the monitor itself has got all, you know, these different functions down, so you just double tap it to get to these different functions. So you can go to these different functions to you know, do what you want to do with. We can let's turn off some of these functions. All waves off, audio meter, just turn that off. There we go. I actually had that accidentally set to pixel to pixel, which zooms it in, and that's great for checking your focus, of course, but not great for composition, because if you forget that's on, you think you've got a tighter shot from what you have. So we'll turn that off, and we're back to a normal picture. Now, as I say, it's got all these different mounting points on the monitor, 1920 by 1200 resolution display, so you get a nice, crisp, sharp display. It's called a 4K monitor, even though it isn't a 4K monitor per se, but it does take a 4K signal. Now, one of the things that the main reason I got this monitor was this extra battery compartment on the side here. Now, as I say, it takes the standard Sony batteries here, but you can connect another device to this monitor to power it. Now that might be a video light. In my case, I wanted to mount my Axoon receiver. Now I've done a review of these Axoon receivers in the past. I put a link up here somewhere. No, it's up here, isn't it? To my Axoon CineView SE video, and these are great for video transmission, well, video and audio transmission from the camera to your monitor. And I use them a great deal here in the studio. If I've got the camera quite a distance away from me, I can use these to transmit the signal either to the app, the Axoon app on my iPad, or to a conventional monitor. But when you're transmitting it to a monitor and you're going out, it's a right palaver because you have to have, mount this somewhere. Then you've got cables, and it's all a right little palaver. Now I can mount this absolutely directly on the monitor, and it powers it as well. So I'll show you what I mean. So on the back here, we've got this big battery, and this is the mounting plate for this. Now I've had to take this plate off and turn it around because it was a different way round, purely because of the aerial sticking out the side. But that's the back of the plate, standard Sony batteries, and all I do now is just literally clip that into there, and look at that, that's now on there. So I've got a completely self-contained unit, so when I go out I can just turn it on there, that'll power up, and you can see there it's powering up the actual receiver, and then just plug my HDMI lead in, and away I go. A completely self-contained unit, and this battery is powering the Axon receiver, or it would be a video light if you're using a video light. In fact, a video light would be quite a common thing to want to use because you can mount it on the back, and if you are, you know, doing an interview, your light is directly behind the monitor. What a great device, what a great idea. And that's, you know, why I got this particular monitor. Now the monitor is really lightweight. I should put in the video what the weight of a monitor is, obviously excluding battery, but really lightweight, and a good screen. The screen does pick up fingerprints. Because it's a touch screen, you will end up with loads and loads of fingerprints over the screen, so you just want to make sure you keep it, you know, regularly cleaned. It does show your battery indication on the top left hand corner there, which is a very useful feature, particularly if you are powering something else with a monitor. And as I say, I'm powering my Axon receiver with that. And yeah, great little monitor, great for going out with, great for location shooting. And I think it's going to be a really great piece of kit here in the studio, and you know, when I do go out on location. Now, as far as power is concerned, as well as being able to take power via the MPF 970 battery, or even one of the smaller batteries, you can take power via a DC input, as I say, on the side there. It's got the DC inputs on the side. But interestingly, it's also got USB-C power capabilities. And that is great because I can power it off a USB block straight into the USB port, which I believe is on the bottom there. Yeah, the USB port's just on the bottom there. Also, there's an SD card slot for upgrading the firmware. You can't record to the SD card, it's purely there for upgrading firmware. Yeah, you can also use it in flip mode. So if you do need to flip it over, it'll automatically flip. You don't have to, unlike with the Atomos recorders, you have to manually you know, tell it to flip. This isn't, that's just flipped straight over, and then if I turn that back to the correct way, that'll flip it back the other way, which is absolutely awesome. So it doesn't matter what orientation you've got this mounted, you don't have to worry manually about flipping the screen. It'll do it automatically. I think that is awesome. So yeah, great monitor. Now, as I said, it's got the LUTs, so you can put a LUT over it so that your client or the director can actually see what it would look like as a Rec 709 image. I'm not filming in any form of log profile on my Canon R7, so I don't need to put a LUT on it, but you know, I can do if I needed to. Yeah, there we go. That's pretty much most what I want to say about the Feelworld F7 Pro monitor. It's well made plastic, but it seems pretty well made. I think it will last well, and I do like this touchscreen ability. I also like the fact that you can preset these at the bottom here to whatever you might want to use them for, and it's just a matter of double tapping, and then you can change the parameters of whichever one you want to change. So just by turning, I'll get it upside down. So there we go, let me flip that over, and it flips over straight away. So you just a matter of bringing that up, double tapping that, and then you just turn this over, and then you can set whatever you want. So very flexible, very easy to use, nicely designed monitor, But for me, crucially, what I really like about it is being able to attach my Axon receiver. So I've got it as one unit. I don't have to have separate batteries for the Axon, separate cables. All I need to do now, mount this on my grip, and I've got my receiver and my monitor all in one unit, bit like using my iPad really, but all in one unit on a really, really nice, compact, lightweight monitor. So there we go. That's the Feelworld F7 Pro monitor. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. Hit the like button if you like the content of this video. Would really, really appreciate that. I will leave links in the description, some affiliate links in the description of the video where you can purchase this monitor from. Please use those links if you do want to buy one. That would be fantastic. Helps me out, helps me grow the channel, but it doesn't cost you any extras. So there we go. Thanks very much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos related to video photography, podcasting, so on and so forth. Cheers for now. Bye.